Ah,
What's
there,
up?
there we go. How was your week, Coop?
I'm great, man. I'm just trying to post to make sure people know to come here.
Yes.
Um,
Ta-
you know,
tag
like
tag me in there. Maybe invite some folks. We'll see.
yeah, let's
I'll
see. We're
here,
live. That's what I'm gonna say. We're live now.
let me put the chat
Is-
overlay on here. Okay.
Okay, all right. We did it.
All right. Feel free to ask questions. I'll put that in the chat here. We did save some time a little later on the agenda
Yeah,
to go over some questions today.
for
So
sure. And I feel good about this, man. It's 9:04. We're
we're
starting on time today.
we're relatively close to being on time.
Yeah,
How is your coffee mug game today?
terrible.
Terrible.
I still have this joke. I need to buy more coffee mugs.
Oh no,
Apparently,
this is
I still
different than
have
what you
this
had last time. Okay.
I have this joke thing that somebody made me for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm
All
a
right. All
guy
right.
that knows a little about a lot, but
Yep.
yeah.
I like
What
the
do you got?
tagline.
What do you got?
Today. Oh no, wait, hold on, wrong side. Today it is Child Appreciation Day. So you the best dad ever. So
Oh,
we
is
watched.
to
No, it's not a real day.
oh.
It's just
I was like, wait a second.
I found the mug and it was the biggest mug available and I needed lots of caffeine today because I got very little sleep trying to square away all the citrus stuff and pre-sale stuff and I got like 3 more interviews to do today. It's a busy day. I got to slam a bunch of this stuff in over the weekend, man.
Look, I mean, are you? How do you have the time for it? We were talking earlier. You've got a whole big family. Like, where do you find the time?
So it's not a matter of finding the time. I think it's just the prioritization and making sure that you are okay having stuff that is incomplete, right? Because
Yeah,
the work is never done. So you
yeah,
just decide, okay, I'm okay prioritizing family time now over work, and
yeah.
the rest of it will just get done,
There you go.
right? So
There you
so far
go.
so good. Everything's gotten done that it was an absolute mandatory, I guess.
And we're going to talk a little bit about citrus later, right? You
Yes,
put that
yes.
on. So
I put
yeah.
it.
So I won't.
I put it on the agenda today. I
Okay.
think we got a full house today. We should probably jump into some things here.
Let's
Now
do it.
this first one, I don't know if this was supposed to be together, or
Yeah.
this is okay.
No, it's
Okay, got it.
definitely yeah.
Okay,
That's
so I,
definitely
I don't know about Zone and the Elephant NFTs, so you're gonna have to fill me in on this. I know what Zone is, but I
yeah.
don't know about the Elephant NFTs.
Well, so why don't we start there? What are you excited about Zone? Like, what are your thoughts on Zone?
Yes, so I am excited about Zone. I like anything that is new and innovated, and I don't know, kind of just harnesses a new audience, right?
Right.
So we've got folks who are coming in from all different aspects, and I think that there are groups of people who are already digitally native,
Hmm.
and Zone appeals to them, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure. Yeah, especially gamers and stuff like that too. Yeah.
yeah, so like if they're already in the zone, then bring them on into the Algorand zone.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, so what's going on this week is that with the elephant NFTs, and I've actually spent a lot of time on this recently, and I'm going to do a video, so we don't need to. We have a lot of things to talk about, so I'm not. We don't need to get in it too much, but they are, the whitelist for the NFTs is happening right now, and there's going to be a sale later this week. And
Uh,
so, and then these NFTs aren't just NFTs, they are, there's a lot of perks.
okay.
So I was wondering, but it's going to be expensive. The minting price is 300 algo.
Are we talking play to
And
earn like perks? What are we? What kind of perks are
yeah,
we talking about?
well, yeah, we'll get into it. I'll dive into it more in the video in the next couple of days, but yeah, you'll be able to, there'll be like maybe Zone airdrops. They have a launch pad that Zone's doing. So, early access to the tokens that are launching on that launch pad.
Mm,
And there's a whole tier system. And there is, one of the questions a lot of people have is that it's a 300 algo minting price and there's 10,000 of them.
hmm
So that's a lot. That's a lot of elephants. You know what
That's
I
a
mean?
lot of elephants.
and,
Okay.
and it's pretty high mint price, but at the same time, you can upgrade the rarity of your elephant by turning in 3. So there's going to be a deflationary aspect. Anyways, if you don't have, I was wondering your opinion on it since
Um,
you
no,
don't really know.
I don't really know. I have been checking out these Octas lately, though, who have a very interesting take on NFTs as well.
Oh, the
So
Octarand thing, is that what it's
yes,
called? Okay,
Yes.
let's transition to that because I'm going to talk about this in a video. I want to know, did you get one of these things?
I did not get one of these things. I think currently the cheapest one is roughly last I saw was like 3,800 algo or something
Ah,
along those lines. So like it's like $4,000, on current market price, whatever, close to that, right?
yeah,
It's shooting out, coins, which the
yeah,
coin value also, has risen up.
yeah,
And it's also got this aspect. I don't think you can trade in like you're talking about with the elephants, but you can spend octas, and I think it's 10 octas or something like this to
hmm,
upgrade.
yeah,
And presumably then the rarity is more desirable. I don't know if it spits out any more octas or faster,
yeah,
but it's got a really cool feature built in there. And I tried to find them. Apparently, like you got to go to their website. The marketplace is there. It's all built in
yeah,
there. It's really well done. Um,
right.
but I think that's the future of NFTs, like you're talking about with the elephants, where it's got extra, utility.
Yeah,
Or
I think that, and you see that with most of the projects, they're creating staking, staking, or like there's one with Mafia Algo. If you have a certain rows, you get a certain amount of the Gen 2s. And,
Mhm.
there's a whole bunch of incentive programs. But what I was going to say about Octarand is that, yeah, last week on my rant, somebody commented, "Hey, have you seen these?" And I hadn't seen them. And I went and looked. This is, I saw it and they were pretty cheap. Did you do been in Spain? I don't. Okay, sorry. I'll read that in a second. But
I
I
did
saw
save
and
time for comments and questions. I think it's like number 9 on our agenda today. Just so
okay,
you know.
good, good, good. But so yeah, like, and you spell something. Is this what it's worth? Like you're trying to make a unique NFT by
Oh, the
spelling like,
octas? Yeah, I think
yeah,
so. They minted with the first, I want to say like 18 letters of the alphabet, and then so if
yeah,
something gets updated it with like a Q or an S or a V or
you
something like that, then it's been upgraded and it increases the rarity because presumably less people have V than B, for
right.
instance.
Well, a lesson learned because last week when this guy brought it to my attention, I went and looked and I saw, I think the cheapest one was 800 algo.
Oh
And
man,
I thought, man, I missed it because I heard all these people buying it like at 80 algo. And so I was like,
yeah.
I missed it. And now the floor you're saying is what, 4,000 or something?
4,000, close to that. It's nuts, and there were a ton listed over like 100,000. I was like, holy smokes! Like, that's a little too rich for my blood. I also missed out on this.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
We're allowed to miss out on things,
yeah.
Monty.
It's
Yeah.
there's just too much going on. So,
There's too much going on. There's too much going
all right, let's move on here. So we've got XGov proposal.
on.
So, what are your thoughts? Do we want to go full DAO? Do we want to control what questions are being asked of the participants?
Hmm.
What's your thought on this?
Well, I mean, from what I've read, I think, yeah, I think yes. I think that's a good idea.
hmm I think that overwhelmingly the option so far has been for option A, right? I
Yeah.
think last I checked, it was like 70 some percent or something had voted for option A, which votes to reduce the centralized control of the Algorand Foundation, essentially,
Right.
right?
Yeah, essentially. And there's cool things in it that make it, because I try to think, okay, well, what is the downside of this? Because really all you're doing is the proposing power is moving to a certain uh portion of the community that's very dedicated, right? And really
Right.
wants to be locked up for, 12, 18 months or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
and so what's the downside? Because already we have the foundation, which is, they're great, but it's also centralized. So they're in control of that. So
hmm
further decentralization, I think, is a great thing. I guess you get into these conversations about whales right now,
Yeah.
malicious whales and things like that. Do we really want whoever has to be able to influence it that much?
hmm
And they
I,
seem to be addressing that through experience. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say that it could be a slippery slope. Like, what if the next step is delegates?
Yeah.
And delegates have been something that I don't know if it was a foundation or it might have been Silvio himself that counseled against having delegates, authorities delegating votes, consolidation of votes. And you're right that the talk about whales is something I'm concerned about. So, what if Michael Arrington, right? Got a huge amount of followers, probably holds a fair amount of algo. I'm assuming. What if he
Yeah.
said to everybody in his portfolio, "Hey, go ahead and delegate to me. and in fact get all of your followers to go ahead and delegate to me, and we'll be more powerful as a team, and I will help push the agenda for our portfolio. So I will help our portfolio get more foundation grants, for instance.
Hmm.
Now, is there anything to stop that from happening? Now, to be clear, this hasn't happened yet. There's no talk about delegates or anything like that, but I worry about this coming up next.
Well, yeah.
Um,
And you could even see a scenario where somebody like that could create some sort of incentive program to delegate to him or something like that. You never know how creative people could be.
yeah.
Um,
And to be clear, like I'm not harassing Michael Arrington. I'm just,
no, no, no.
just, just,
I
just,
mean,
just, as, just as an example off the top of my head, like I'm
of
sure he's,
somebody that potentially has a lot. Scary
yes,
movie.
yeah,
You could also talk about scary movie.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, but or whoever else.
right.
But yeah, I mean, I see that. I mean, obviously they have the mechanism, and there's a couple of things that they mentioned in what they put out the other day. Like no malicious sort of proposals will be allowed. A lot of details aren't there yet. So there's going to
Yeah,
be a certain type of proposal that won't even be allowed. And then, experience does play into, oh man, did you hear that when that happened?
no,
I always, every time I interview somebody, I tell them to turn off their notifications, and here I am. But so, so yeah, that, and the idea that experience, each
yeah,
period will have a DAO that's specific, and you'll get an NFT, and then that NFT will age the longer you're in the thing, and then that will that will increase your voting power. So
right.
if a whale is in for 18 months and or 5 years or whatever, they're going to have a lot of power. So that is a concern. But at the same time, like if they're in it that long, they also have a lot to lose. They're very committed to
That's
the
true.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're committed to something for, let's say, 10 years or a longer locked up period or something like that, that also shifts the scales for me a bit. So if somebody he does say, hey, I want to lock in for a longer period of time, if that's an option,
Yeah.
then I think that creates some long term vision. Because I worry about the university initiatives, some of the longer term investments that don't give an instant gratification kind of a return. So
Yeah.
I want those activities to continue because I think those are going to bear fruit in 3, 4, 6, maybe 10 years from now, as the younger folks are getting trained on how to use Algorand and what's the blockchain. They're getting trained in Reach. They're going through universities. They're going through programs. How to code. How to create dApps. How to go through these accelerators. And those are the kinds of things that are going to pay dividends for us down the road. So
Right. So what you're saying is that if people are operating from a self-interest, they maybe have
yes,
short-term priorities.
yep.
Yeah.
So I still voted for A though. so
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I'm
That's good.
I mean I'm right there. I don't want
Yeah.
the foundation to dictate anything else, but I do have a couple of reservations, and hopefully those things can be addressed. And I don't think that there is any perfect utopian solution. I think that there's
Mm.
going to be pros and cons, and we're just going to have to make that decision and live with it as a group.
Site is looking good. A big update tonight.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's Servando. Servando is our lead developer and designer for Citrus.
Oh,
So
great. Cool.
he's just chiming in.
Sweet. All
We'll
right.
get to that. All right.
All right.
Oops. I skipped. We
Oh,
don't
what
we
did
don't
you
want
skip?
we don't. Oh, preview. We're going to talk about
Oh,
Algodex. There we go. Next up, Solana
yeah.
wormhole hack.
There we go.
Holy
Bridges.
crap! So Solana went down again,
Mhm.
right? And we had a huge hack. They got a bunch
Yeah.
of it back though, right?
Yeah, what happened? Well, did they go down during this, or I mean, they're always going down. Look, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. I'm always on the verge of bashing Solana, and I don't want to be the guy that is like, but I am. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I have to just own who I am. But I mean, so Solana, yes, I don't know if they went down, but they've definitely gone down recently, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, the wormhole bridge from
Mm-hmm.
Solana to Ethereum on the Solana side. Yeah, a little bit of money got printed over there.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
the whole details. I just know
Mm.
it was millions, and they were
Well,
able to
yeah, like a third of a trillion.
a
Yeah,
third of a trillion. Oh yeah, just a
yeah,
just a small
yeah.
amount.
Three
Okay.
hundred plus a million. Yeah,
All right.
that's crazy.
Wait, million or billion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, a billion, a third of a
Billion.
billion, a
Third of a
third of a
billion. Okay.
trillion. No,
Uh,
that was That was Facebook. They
Oh,
lost
yes. Yeah, yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
insane amount of market
Market
cap
cap.
this week. Yeah. Anyways, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was watching that. So,
Yeah.
I think it just goes to show that, yeah, I don't know, measure twice before you start, putting this stuff out there. Look at all the audits. I don't know, hire some more white hats to go in and try and poke holes at these things.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, I guess the details, I don't, I'm light on details too, but apparently somebody was able to deposit zero point 0.1 ETH on the Solana side and print 120,000 ETH
On the other side.
um, on that side, and then send it over there, and then cash out. I don't think they cashed out the total thing, and I do believe that Solana, which is amazing, where I guess they just have a ton of money over there, because
Mm,
the fact that they were able to make people whole from that is pretty incredible.
yeah.
But
Well, I mean, they were crypto rich.
I mean, but the larger thing here is the bridges. You got to be careful when you're using bridges.
Yeah.
That's just it. These things are not super secure. Hopefully, Algorand has got the solution, but here, anywhere, bridges are going to be risky.
I have yet to use an Algorand bridge. I've talked about them many times.
Yeah.
I almost did with a couple of new projects I wanted to buy in, and Yieldly, for instance, you had to go through Trust Swap. Even Opulus, you had to bridge some stuff back.
Mhm.
Uh, but the process always just seemed a little bit too tedious and a little bit too intimidating for me. And I'm fairly, entrenched in
Yeah.
the crypto world, obviously. But I
Yeah.
was still like, man, I don't know, I'm gonna miss out on that. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, and I think that you're not alone, because if I remember correctly, Yieldly said that one of their least used products is their bridge to Ethereum. So they
Yeah.
kind of slowed down the bridging. I mean, obviously, it's fun. Like, for example, there's a lot of stuff happening in Solana and the
Mm.
DeFi. So if it were easy to kind of hop back and forth, and I talked to Glitter Finance recently, they're definitely focused on that, and yeah. So there is opportunity there, and interoperability is a desirable thing, but it's risky for sure.
Yeah. I don't
And it,
think that I am like like I'm not alone in trying to avoid the bridges. Like, think about it in
no.
real life. If I was gonna go, over I don't know, the Bay Bridge from San Francisco to Oakland, right?
Mhm.
But once a year the bridge collapsed. I probably would avoid going through the bridge,
Yeah,
like
you're like,
like it.
that's
I,
funny.
I I wouldn't use that one anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if the toll was
But
too
but
high,
but
or
by the way, if you were in a rush and you had a very important meeting where you knew if you made that meeting on time and you would make a ton of money, you could make a ton of money, you
yeah,
might be
yeah.
like, "Oh man, once every year, like I'm just gonna race across that bridge real quick and and then
Right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
All right, maybe. Yeah.
yeah,
Just try to avoid getting hijacked halfway across the bridge.
yeah. Hopefully you don't fall into that bridge like 1989.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
All right. Let's let,
Okay,
let's move on. So,
okay.
Algodex going public. So
Mhm.
Algodex has had a turbulent history with the Algorand community. They were the darling about 9 months ago, I think, when Alex Drafonis first came out. He was a tweet magician. He was out there. He was pushing out all kinds of stuff. He was good for the community. Got some people amped up. Then they had a little bit of fallout. It looked like it took a step back. Had some funding fall through. Very well documented and very publicized. Fallouts. We don't exactly know the reasons, I guess, but it was very it was out there for everyone who was following the story.
Mhm.
And then he got back on track. He's got Algonaut's
Yeah.
investors.
Yeah.
He's got and now a new company I think just took a bought in.
Did
They're
they?
going
Okay.
public in Canada. I forget the name of the new company, but it was like Green Grass Capital, or yeah, I butchered that name. I don't know what it is.
Green
So
grass.
the grass is greener somewhere. But we'll
Oh,
we'll,
okay. Yeah,
we'll,
it's okay.
we'll have to go. We'll have to go check that out. But thoughts on them possibly going public in Canada?
Yeah, I think that's happening, right? When
Hmm.
I talked to Alex, I must have, maybe it was a month ago, a few weeks ago. Yeah, he talked
That's
about
right.
them going. Yeah,
Yeah,
he talked about going public in Canada, and yeah, and then didn't he just take on a role at Algonaut Capital?
he
Isn't
did.
he,
Yeah, I
or
think he's a CTO
CTO,
possibly. Yeah.
CTO over there? So, I mean. Yeah, I don't actually know a lot of these details about what's going on right now. I know that I saw that he's the CTO. I saw that he, didn't he say recently that Algodex is basically ready to go, a couple of minor bugs
before
um
mainnet.
and before mainnet. So
Yep.
that's happening soon. Now, like we talked about in the interview, is that this isn't going to be a platform that is available to US investors
Yeah. The IP
at the
won't be accessible for Canadians and U.S. Addresses.
no Canadians too.
Canadians too, for right now anyway. At least until they get some
Oh,
legal clarification.
okay. I thought Canada was okay, but I guess I believe you. Which we all know that when it comes to that, like VPNs are a workaround for that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never used a
Yeah, I mean,
VPN.
I mean, yeah. Anyways, I'm not advocating anybody do anything like they shouldn't, but I'm just saying, like that's a pretty
It is known in the crypto world, VPNs are used to
to
extent.
kind of sometimes to make yourself, yeah, so people don't know your IP address.
Right. Okay. Very good. So they're going to go public. I think it could be the first public crypto company in Canada. I don't know a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot about the Canadian marketplace, but I saw a
Mm-mm.
couple of tweets that mentioned that, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what? Here's a guy who quit his job a year ago,
Amazing.
basically, right? About a year ago, maybe, yeah, right around.
Well, because when
And
we talked to him at Algo Fest,
yeah,
I feel like he had just quit his job or was about to. I don't remember actually,
well,
but I
maybe,
remember that. I remember that being a topic of discussion, which is crazy because that was what was that 6 months ago?
yeah.
Time's flying. All right.
And so yeah, so not even a year ago, the guy quits his job, goes into his passion project, and not a full year later, he's CTO of a new company. His
Ah,
company has been acquired by somebody else, so he's successfully, in the industry, you want an exit. So he built up his side project, built it up, got an exit, got his payday, and a job.
look
So
at him
kudos to him, right?
for sure. Congratulations, man.
I
Congratulations.
think it's great. It's been a bumpy road. I don't think he did everything right, but I don't think he did everything wrong either. Because look where he ended up.
There
So
you go.
all's
Sometimes
well that
you,
ends well.
yeah, sometimes the ends justify the means. I don't know. We're just
Mhm.
going to sit here and say, like,
Yeah,
sayings. Yeah.
I think it's good for the
At
community.
first you don't succeed, try again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will say the guy's got tenacity and
For sure.
stick to itiveness
Mhm.
that has driven him through to the finish line. All right. Well,
All
so
right, cool. And
let's
then
talk
he
about
has
ETH.
another. Yeah. Ooh, ETH Denver. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to ETH Denver, right?
I'm going to ETH Denver, man. Are you?
I can't make it. I am shook to the bones that I can't make it
Ah,
to ETH Denver.
we
Um,
could have met in person.
yeah, right.
Only shirts that are not Hawaiian.
I think you, I
um,
think I think you're purposely good at Hawaiian shirts for.
yeah, I try, but and that's why you probably see the same Hawaiian shirts over and over again because it's a short rotation.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm gonna be at ETH Denver. Too bad I won't meet you in person. I was, but you can watch me with jealousy like I did you in Decipher.
I will watch with bated breath. We're trying to send Lauren, who
Oh,
is
cool,
our chief marketing officer, over to kind of partake and visit with everybody and visit and report on the activities. So she may be able to pop in. We'll see. So we're trying to at least have some representation for the crypto
cool.
nerd family.
Well, I love it. Well, I look forward to hopefully meeting Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in East Denver, I mean, are you looking forward to finding out new projects? Are you looking forward to networking? What's the biggest thing you're looking for in East Denver?
Oh, I didn't actually know. Sorry, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in person. But so Yieldly's on Bitmart. Did you know that? I didn't know
I
that.
did not know that, and I would be curious to know whether or not it's the ERC20 or if it's the ASA that's on Bitmart.
Yeah. Why don't you Tribold 78? You can chime in with that if you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I am. Yeah, man, I'm excited to. I'm excited to get out of my house. Meet people. Like I've been pretty much. I mean, obviously, I hang out with friends. It's not like the end of the world, but I haven't traveled much in the past couple of years. So I'm excited to kind of, get on a plane, go, be on my own, not have the
Yep.
kids around, and just have a few days of just crypto, and talking to all the people, meeting the people, and
Hmm.
hearing all the people talk, and learning things. It's all the same things. I mean, Is there anything in particular that you're excited about with ETH Denver? I know that Algorand's really focused on it, and like,
They really are, yeah.
they're representing over there. So
They have their own facility. It's like right next to the main event. Algorand's a major sponsor of ETH Denver. And
mhm.
contrary to the name, ETH's in the name. It seems like there's going to be a multi-chain event. And I think that's good for Algorand. Gaining that exposure to a wider audience is always good. And
Mhm.
Algorand is one of those few layer ones. It just seems like it just never quite has gotten the respect that you and I obviously give to it.
Right.
And it's never gone down. Doesn't have those Solana issues. When we get
Yeah.
a hack, it's very, very minor.
Mhm.
In all things considered, it seems to me like that greater exposure is going to help all of the community, all of the projects gain exposure. So I'm happy to see like the Reach team I know has been there for they've already been there for a week. They're
Oh, wow.
they're because ETH Denver goes on for like darn near the whole month, right? It's a lot
Right,
of
right, right.
developers, and they've got a hackathon I think is event attached to it,
Yeah.
and Reach is blockchain agnostic as well. So I think it's good for the community. So I extend all my best. For me, the most important thing at Decipher for me was the networking,
Mhm.
talking to folks, getting feedback, hearing what they wanted.
Yeah.
All of that was really crucial to kind of formatting some business ideas and figuring out what the community needed. So for me, it was
Yeah.
all about the interactions. The best business conversations I had happened after I don't know 9 p.m.
Right. When you were drinking beer.
Right? It was just a casual conversation, and a lot of
Yeah.
stuff happens out of those casual conversations.
For sure, man. Yeah, I'm excited to meet everybody, and that's it. And I've never been to Denver either. So I hear it's like 6 degrees there.
Yeah,
So
it's got
that'll
to be
be
friggin' cold. I'm in Texas. We're lucky I'm
yeah.
I'm live because we lost power briefly yesterday,
Oh,
or
wow.
the day before. I think it was Friday night. Anyway, but it's another ice storm here in Texas. We're
Mhm.
not used to that still.
It's like it is probably 78 outside. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
there's a chill outside here, and where I'm needs to sweet talk Kelly at Denver to see if he can squeeze out some more info. Okay.
Yes. Get that Kelly Callahan
We'll
info.
see. Yeah, we'll see how I can do. I
All
I
right.
have a feeling there's limits to my charm. All right. All
All right,
right.
let's talk about Opulus for like the third week in a row.
Yes.
Opulus
Oh
has
man.
some like news coming up. So he's not bickering with Yieldly anymore. Now it's Lil
Yeah.
Yachty.
I know. It's so funny. Like I was like, Opulus, what are we going to even talk about Opulus? It's almost like it's old news to me. And that
Right?
was what, 3 days ago. So
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. Well, yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
But I mean, so the allegations are that Lil Yachty's team did not authorize
Yeah.
Opulus to use his likeness or his name when raising funds,
Yeah.
and clearly they did use his name and his likeness, and dropped his name in lots of material and said, hey, some of our first artists will be featured, Lil Yachty, and the allegations are that they raised, I don't forget what it was, like 6 million or something like that, off of his image. Now I don't know the details. Obviously, we weren't there, but
No.
how does this play out? You think in the community? Is it like you already forgot about it? It was 3 days ago. You're like you. Does anybody else care?
Um, yeah, I think probably some people care, but I mean, I cared. I was like, oh shoot, this isn't a good look. My first impression was this is not a good look. You don't want this because
Yeah.
I remember like when they were first entering the scene, I remember being like, oh, I've heard of Little Yachty. Like this is, and so these allegations are, don't make you look great. But I
Hmm.
have to say that Lee and Opulus came out pretty full throated, being like, no, we have a watertight defense. We have documentation. I mean, they didn't say it explicitly like this, but it seems like what they're saying is that there's no merit to this.
Yeah.
And
We had permission from him and his team. I don't know what he's
yeah.
got, like recorded conversations or there was documents. It seems like Lil Yachty would remember e-signing something, but I don't know. Maybe it's somebody from his team. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Exactly. It's not just Little Yachty, and maybe he's got like a new manager that's a lawyer and doesn't know what his team had signed or what other agreements that people. So I at first I was more concerned than I was, but then to see how aggressively they defended themselves, I started to think, all right, well, you know, maybe there's a cash grab happening on some level.
Could be. All right. Innocent until proven guilty.
There you go.
Is any publicity good publicity?
I mean, that seems to be the way of the day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, Lee is very good at mixing it up for
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
drawing eyes, and
He'll hold his own. No doubt about it.
yeah,
All right.
he's an asset, man. I have to say, I'll repeat myself. I've said it in videos. That guy's an asset. People, whether you like him or you don't like him, you always want guys that draw eyes, and that's just the way it is. That's the modern way. So, it's good. It's good that we have guys like Lee Parsons and Scaramucci, for that matter. These types of guys, these types of characters are good. So
when we were controversial at times, but bring some attention.
Yeah, and when we were all complaining last year, oh, nobody knows about Algorand. It's all about the tech. It's boring. It's fantastic, but nobody knows about it. Well, be careful not to hate on the guys that bring eyes. I mean, you got to call it out, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to say all the truth, but I also always try to bookmark it with but there's sometimes you got to weigh the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're plowing through these. I think we're going to save significant time to go through some questions that came up, and we got a few other topics to go through that are a little meaty here. So, it's tax season though. Mm-hmm. Do you have a plan for crypto on U.S. tax returns? How are you going to report this? Are you concerned at all?
I mean, yeah, I'm more concerned that my guy will know what he's doing because I kind of don't. I mean, I am. Well, it was nice to see the change that you're staked. The
recent IRS. Now that's not actually official yet, right?
Right.
For those of you who don't know, the IRS was trying to refund some staking that was claimed as income. They said, no, that's not income. Here's your refund. But they didn't actually make it formal. They didn't change the rule on staking rewards. And so the couple in question refused the refund and is somehow pressing the issue to force the courts to make a decision on whether or not that should be counted as income or something along those lines. I'm not sure if I got all the details correct, but the gist of it is they're forcing the IRS to either clarify the guideline or the judicial system, the court, to clarify the guideline.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just kind of like the problem with the crypto space in general is the lack of clarity. Like we just we just don't know. We don't regulation, we don't taxes. Like it's like how strictly can they enforce all this when they are completely when there's no real clarity on what it all is. And then there's these awful situations to where, the gains are measured in these weird ways where you didn't actually make that amount and now you're paying taxes on some crazy amount. Like it's a really murky world, right? Because you might buy stuff on Coinbase, take it out and do all these things and then bring it back to cash out the fiat on Coinbase or whatever. Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard for them to police, which is one of the major strengths of it. But it also, it's risky for how they decide that they need to regulate it.
Filing fees, Mercy, are not higher for reporting crypto unless you need to include, paying somebody to file your taxes. But I mean, you don't actually pay a fee to file your taxes here. I mean, TurboTax might charge you more if you need to use the higher level of submission, or if you need to hire somebody. Really, I think is what it comes down to.
Yeah, you should be fine. Yeah, it's gonna you're gonna report it just like a stock, right? I mean, it's just harder to track.
It's much harder to track, especially given the fact that how quickly people trade some of these, right? It's really easy to go on Tiny Man and swap out your Kita for Algos, and maybe then go put it on a liquidity pool, and then you get these liquidity pool tokens. So do those have separate value that I'm going to go stake on Yieldly? So did I just create a taxable event?
Well, this isn't like legal advice or anything. I have no idea what you should or shouldn't do. I'll frame it with that. But
Yeah.
when you're operating on something like Tiny Man and you're over there, on something like AlgoFi, nobody knows who you are, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, what are we doing here? What are we talking about?
I don't
I'm
know.
not,
I'm on my VPN right now, so
they want, you're on a VPN right now.
Mm,
I'm doing terrible. Like, by the way, none of this, I'm not advising anybody to do anything. Every video that that I make ends with, "For the love of God, this is not investment advice." So please
yes,
listen to
yes.
that.
This is not investment advice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Well,
don't know. I don't know.
I,
I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to my tax guy and I'm going to ask him what he thinks I should do. Is what I'm going to do.
yeah. I'm going to treat it as if it's non-taxable until I withdraw it. That's my plan. I'm sticking
But
to it. I don't know if
yeah,
it's legally correct, but that's what I'm going to do.
right. I mean, and I most of my bags I'm long on anyways. So
Hmm.
I'm not some hyper. I'm not like on Coinbase making a whole bunch of like documented. I'm not on there like flipping every day. I know
Yeah.
people are, and those are the people that should be concerned because they are going to. Um,
Coinbase makes you verify. They'll issue you a 1099 or whatever it is right
yeah.
now.
So if
They
you're,
got your info.
if you're like on a Coinbase Pro and you're like flipping all day, like you definitely have something to think about. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll leave it to the professionals then. All right.
Yeah. Please do. All
Headline
right. What
and
do you got?
citrus updates. Oh, you know what? I should have capitalized headline. Hold on. Let me go back in there and edit that because headline deserves a capital H, don't they?
Yeah, I sure think so.
There we go. Headline citrus updates. Boom. All right. So, you got any headline news for us this week?
I don't. I don't. I mean, it was a weird week, right? I mean, I don't know, but what is going on here? This looks like there's a little duo happening here. I actually don't know anything about this. What's going
Well,
on with Headline Citrus?
well, I mean, I put them both on the same, I don't
Oh,
know, category here because I figured you have headline stuff. I got citrus stuff.
I saw that and I was like, oh, is Headline and Citrus teaming up for something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might be, foreshadowing something but I don't have anything official. So if
Okay.
Aaron's
So
watching,
this is you're not
if,
trying to make an announcement.
I'm not trying to make an
Um,
announcement, but if Aaron wants to like reach out to me and we'll work something out, then we'll touch base and maybe we'll have some
well,
announcements, in
I
the
mean,
future. I don't know.
yeah. Well, obviously, Headline announced for one the Yieldly pools. So yeah,
Yes.
this week there was very exciting news from
Hmm.
Headline. So if you hold HDL, you're going to be able to stake your HDL for more HDL. You're going to be able to stake your Yieldly for HDL, and
Hmm.
you'll also be able to stake your LP token. So yeah, man. I mean, that's exciting. I think that's always exciting for holders to be able to easily gain APY.
Yes.
Somebody in the comments asked earlier if it's all happening on the same day. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Does
I don't
anybody know?
know, but based on historical pools that have gone up like this, right?
Yeah,
It seems like they would go up all simultaneously or within a day of each other. The
yeah.
staking pool may come a day after. But there are a couple of staking pools now that I have
Mhm.
participated in. I've actively participated in the Akita one. I just participated in the ARC staking pool. And it's relatively easy to use, interact with. I mean, Yieldly has done a pretty good job of making it as easy as possible. The Akita
Mhm.
stuff, when you got to go do that extra swap, is just an extra step. But I don't know, APY on some of those pools is like 93% or something right now. So
Well, what's the downside? Yeah.
yeah, I'm digging it. Now uh, we'll go back to my taxes and figure out how
When
those staking, plays
After the
out.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think traditionally the yield leave for HDL
Oh, you're right.
usually goes first, and then but I don't know. I didn't read. And they're going live on the 10th. Am I getting that date right? Am I remember that?
I didn't see a date announced, but I do know Yieldly is doing 20 ASAs for the next month. I think was their goal,
Mhm.
which is very bullish. So Yieldly's got some stuff going, right? They've got all these ASAs, all these pools they're putting in. They're extending their market reach on marketplaces. I think that's good.
Yeah. And then, I see the question from Casey. Look, I What I felt like, I've interviewed Aaron 3 times, and some of, I think, the concerns on Twitter this week were things that I said over the course of the 3 interviews I did with Aaron. If you, I mean, if I mean, I'd be surprised if anybody did watch the complete 3 interviews. I mean, there was a lot of me and him talking, but maybe you did. After that first interview, which was posted on Twitter this week, the second time, I was like, man, I got to admit, like the first time that we talked, I was like, this guy's got so many balls in the air. Like, is he going to be able to execute on this? Is there too much? We've even talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
But then you just keep on seeing progress. So my personal opinion on this is seeing a project in our early ecosystem is rapidly growing. And my opinion is that something to be celebrated and supported. These are good guys. I don't see anything from the headline team in the way that they've interacted with me not to indicate integrity and people that are trying to help the community. And then you even see it, whether you like the solutions or not, like even with the verification thing, like these guys are trying to come up with solutions constantly and add value to the community. So, hey, there you go. That's my opinion on all of that. I don't hate, or I'm not negative on anybody having an opinion about it and, being skeptical or, thinking I get it, man. I'm sure people watch my videos, maybe you didn't like something I said about Opulus, or you didn't like something that I said about whatever, you might, and then I'm the type of person that will always adjust. And I think if you're out there very skeptical, all good, but keep your mind open because we're trying to grow something here. I mean, and I'm trying to be honest. So there we go. That's where I stand.
Yeah. I take the good, the bad, the ugly. I just try to get it out there. I've interviewed some projects that have had some pretty harsh criticism. The Smile Coin guys, that project has weathered some storms to say the least.
Yeah.
Even Choice Coin had a few give and takes. They went that DAO route, and then they basically the coin is now managed by an offshore team out of I think Africa somewhere. I forget where the community is reallocated. I met with Aaron as well. I think he was very articulate. I had the same kind of feedback. Hey, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Can we narrow this down? Should he narrow it down? I mean, I don't know. Everybody has to make business decisions, and so sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad, but only time will tell. But it's his decision to make. He's steering that ship, and I got to tell you, I mean, so far he's got that business, and we don't. So you know what I mean? Like so far, like he went out and did it. So all right, go
That's
for
good.
it. So you did stand up comedy. People who are gonna like, right? So people are like, I don't know about that joke. Well, you know what? F you. Like I went and did it. So that's
and it's
that
hard.
step is hard.
That's a good example. Like it's a good example. Building a business and me doing a set of stand-up comedy. There's a gap, but I mean that's true. Telling jokes is similar. Like sometimes I'm gonna find a joke super funny, and I've done it probably my channel where I'm like, oh, this is hilarious, and then people are like, bro, trying too hard. And whatever the criticism is. So you put yourself out there. You have to be willing to be criticized. I'm definitely willing to be criticized and weather it and try to stay positive and non-defensive. That's always that's the best move, I think.
Lee Parsons definitely he thrives on that criticism, I think. So some projects more so than others. I've got a few haters out there as well. Like I've made some business decisions and folks are like, nah, that's not a good one. I'm like, well, we'll see, right? It was I made that decision. Well, I don't know what's what's good and what's bad. Hindsight's 2020, right?
Right. Well, you always yes, of course, everything that you build is gonna be questioned and criticized, and it takes a certain type of person to be like, yeah, you're wrong, I'm gonna keep going, and I got to keep going with it. Or at the same type of person, maybe somebody criticized you. I mean, people criticize me about things and I'm like, yeah, that's right, I should change that.
Nope.
So,
happens all the time. Sometimes I've been accused of giving too easy of an interview for some folks, teeing them up or doing more PR stuff instead of asking like hard, tough questions. And They're right. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm not asked the really tough questions. I'm more about building, some positivity in the marketplace. I also want to protect people, but yeah, I don't know. That's a choice that I've made sometimes.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah,
roll with it.
for sure.
Citrus updates. So
Yeah.
Servando chimed in the comments earlier, and he said the website looks pretty good. I assume I'm looking over here to like refresh my other screen here. It doesn't look like the new landing page is up just yet. I just hit refresh, but I imagine it's going to be up anytime now. As far as some announcements go, the roadmap I shared last week, it should be up and running. And people have also asked about some of the nerd token stuff. When can I buy nerds, seeing as you only got 27.5 million of them? So, yes, there are a few eagle eyed participants out there who are watching the wallet, apparently. And all I can say is, yep, you only got 27 million of them. I can't tell you what it's for just yet, but
Mm.
you're right. They did get 27.5 million of them.
And it
So,
probably wasn't just a gift.
and it probably wasn't just a gift.
That's a lot. That's a big present. My wallet, I haven't seen any 27.5 million. Monty, where's
Yeah.
my
Sorry.
where's my 27?
Well,
I'll I'll set something up. I promise. I promise to, I'll
all right.
yeah. Good.
Mhm.
Well, there you go. So people noticed that Yieldly is holding that. They're also I hear that they're going to be creating a bunch of pools soon.
I have heard that they're going to be
Yeah.
creating a bunch of pools as well. So we'll have to we'll pay
We'll have
close
to see what
attention to
happens.
that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
All
Good.
right.
So everything is going well. The site should be up later tonight.
Mhm.
And Citrus is going on. It's an exciting project. This is cool, man. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. The Citrus, the idea was already started before Decipher, but it really came into crystal clear focus while at Decipher, talking to people. I told you, interacting with folks, and there was a couple of distinct people that came to me. They were like people that wanted information. They're like, "Hey Monty, what do you know about this project?" They wanted the tea, right? Spill the tea. What
Yeah.
do you know? Who have you talked to? They wanted all the insider information. There was another group of people that came to me and they're like, "Hey, we have this cool project, but nobody knows about it. How do we get the information out? Can you help us?" And I
Yeah.
thought, like, okay, like who am I talking to and what do they want from me? And then I realized, like, why am I in the middle of this? Like, I
Yeah.
am the choke point for all of this information. How about I just create this website and connect all the people that want to know information with all the people that want to give the information, and bada boom, bada bing. There you go.
There
Now,
you go.
now,
And you
now,
made it. It
now,
made it happen.
now we have Citrus. The site and the roadmap should be coming out here shortly. Servando's probably cursing me out right now because I brought attention to the fact that the landing page is not up yet. Nerd token. So Crypto Nerd is providing the Nerd token, which is separate from Citrus. Just to be clear, Nerd
Oh,
it had to get incorporated overseas, so it is a BVI company. Super like lengthy process to hire somebody to run that company overseas out of the British Virgin Islands, find the physical location, get all the legal documentation in place, because as we were talking about taxes earlier, the US regulations are just gray.
yeah.
So to create a coin like that, we had to go overseas and make sure that they can control it over there. And so yes, there will be some pre-sale information that comes out a little later on today. I can tell you that folks on the Citrus waitlist will have access to the pre-sale, as well as people that own the Crypto Nerd NFTs will have access to the pre-sale.
And so what have we talked about this? What will but there will be utility of the nerd token towards Citrus? Is that with
Yes.
Citrus? Yeah.
So CryptoNerd is going to offer bounties. Some of those bounties will be implemented by Citrus. So
Mhm.
community bounties are things like, did you create a blog? Did you review a company? Did you attend an event? Did you give a presentation? No rugs, right? So all of that information, all that interaction and engagement should be rewarded. While I was at Decipher, I had a group of people, you do too probably, that send you information and they say, here's here, and they just want to help, but I couldn't give them anything in reward, like to say thanks, no, for sending that information, participating in the community. Now we can. So
Mhm.
we've got the nerd token that will enable that. That's really cool. Like early on, we'll have some cool swag and some things, so it has some utility. But the best utility, Coop, is in about, I don't know, 9 to 12 months, when we start rolling out DAOs, launch pads, accelerators. So the nerd token will allow you to participate in the community more. So if you participate in the community, you'll be rewarded with nerd. The more nerd you had, the more you can participate in the community because you'll be able to invest in DAOs and Launchpad, new projects, that sort of thing.
Sweet. Good for you, man. I'm
Yep.
excited. I'm excited to keep talking about it and, finagle my way in there somehow.
We'll get you in there. All right.
All right.
Any other audience questions? What did we miss in the comments here so far?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, my friends call this the Crypto. Hey, it's a great name, Mercy.
The Crypto
Mercy
Coop.
receive.
Yes.
I'm starting a podcast called the Crypto Recoup. So we'll more to come on that. You're gonna rug us with the nerd. Monty
No.
wouldn't.
This is a no rug zone.
Yeah, Crypto wouldn't rug you. There you go. What do we got? Oh, C3 Protocol. What do we think? Hulk. This guy's awesome. I like Hulk Algorand. What a treat that guy is with all of his Hulk memes and stuff.
Listen up, brother.
Because it's perfect to do Hulk is so because every time you read one of his tweets, you
got to do the voice. Yeah,
you got it in your head. So he's a real character. C3 Protocol. What do you think of C3 Protocol? I'm excited about it.
I don't know enough about C3 Protocol. I'm not a tech guy, but I know that it caused some commotion and possibly even a spike in price. I forget when that was.
Yeah, well, they're using state proofs. I'm hoping to talk to them. So yeah, I'd love to talk to them and learn more about that. But so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean when we were talking about bridges earlier and how risky they are. If I understand correctly, C3 Protocol is proposing
expand horizons.
Is proposing a solution for that.
Yeah, it's not just a bridge. It seems like it's like more of like it's like the channel.
Yeah,
like it's more like it's safer. You can bullet train across. You can I don't know. It seems like it accomplishes the same kind of thing, but in a wider capacity.
Yeah,
maybe. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's a fair comparison with the channel. I don't know. I've never been to the channel. I don't know anything about the channel. Maybe it's a choke point. I don't know. But it just seems like the super bridge.
Yeah. All right. So he heard that the Yieldly on Bitmart will be the ERC20. And then that's my guy, Cooper. Big love, brother. Yeah. All right, brother. And then thoughts on DigiAsset X, Will KT. I don't know what KT is, but DigiAsset X is a layer 2 on the Digibyte blockchain, and they have some NFT energy. I support DigiAsset X, and I think it's awesome that energy is over there on that proof of work decentralized chain. Thoughts on 20 new liquidity pools on Yieldly starting tomorrow and the future of Yieldly? What are your thoughts? I mean, it's awesome, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think that Yieldly has they hired a new PR person recently, so I think that's good. I don't know if it was a new person or if it was like an outside agency or something, but I know they've taken steps to, make sure that the internal dialogue and what their intentions are externally received that way. Which has not always been the case. I believe strongly that they have always had good intentions, and regardless of the fact that some of their communication has been taken, kind of sideways, they're doing a lot of great friggin' things, man. All of these pools, listen, all of these ASAs, they all need some liquidity pools, right?
Yeah.
The fact that Yieldly is investing in them, and it takes Yieldly man hours to create these pools. Now, don't get me wrong, Yieldly doesn't, they're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart, but they also need to make some revenue out of it. But the way that they're doing it, they could have really, really, really stuck it to the ASAs and been like the fee to get onto Binance was rumored to be like what, in the millions, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you the fee to get onto a Yieldly or something like that is nowhere near like it's nothing like that. They're not taking advantage of ASAs. Their services are reasonable, and they have really kind of stepped up, in my opinion, to do a lot of things, not necessarily pro bono, but in the best interest of the community.
I think that a fully vetted team like Yieldly, and the fact that it's been up for so long, and they're clearly making, like you're saying, you have some experience with it, and you see the fees and all of that, and they're here to help grow our ecosystem. And I love first movers and stuff like that, and I just I support Yieldly as well. Do you know what happened with Sean Lee? I don't know.
I don't know
Somebody
the whole
just asked.
story. No, I know.
No.
Autumn posted something that said executive level changes will be announced, via official channels, and
Okay.
that's the extent of what I've seen from the foundation.
There you go. So clearly there's a change. That essentially confirms it, but we don't know what that's about.
Yeah,
The site's looking good. Citrus site. Shout out from Australia. What's up, Australia? Do we know the 3 pools? I mean, did we do it?
I think we got through everything.
Thoughts on Theta? Do you have any thoughts on Theta?
What's
Theta?
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 I don't
It's a
know.
it's a crypto. I don't know. I don't have any well thought. I hear good things.
See, that's
But
why that's why I need a citrus so I can keep up with everything.
yeah, there you go.
All
All
right.
right. Well, I mean,
New Year's resolutions.
oh,
Anything new for you? It's February 6th now. How's your year going so far, Coop?
it's good. I've run into a bit of a personally, it's not necessarily with the New Year's resolution, but I have stuck with my New Year's resolutions. I've started to get a little cagey. I've started to feel a little stressed, and which brings up my wanting to do crap that sets me back. So,
Mhm.
you know, we're what 5-6 weeks into it, and I'm starting to feel the resistance a little bit, but I'm going to push through and be willing to be uncomfortable.
Right. All right.
Yeah,
Get outside of the comfort zone. I
yeah.
don't know if 10,000 algo is going to make you a millionaire in 2030, um, but there's going to be a party in Dubai, I think, before that.
There you go.
So we'll see what happens. My New Year's stuff. I still don't know Spanish, so no bueno there.
No,
I did download Babbel. I have the app. I have paid for the service. I tried to do it in the car, but a lot of it's like interactive, so I wasn't able to do that. So now I have gotten the Peloton, and I'm thinking,
Mhm.
okay, here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to Peloton it out, and I'm going to use the app at the same time that I'm exercising. So I'm going to kill 2 New Year's resolutions at once.
Nice.
This works out well in my brain, super efficient, but I don't know. Well, I'll tell you next week
You
if it
got the
actually
Peloton.
works. Yeah.
You
So
got the Peloton. I kind of want a Peloton.
yeah,
What Amazon, didn't we hear that Amazon might buy them this week?
did
Is
we?
that
I don't
right?
know. Well, I know their stock was down post. I don't know. A lot of folks getting out of lockdown or whatever. Now they can go ride their bike outside,
Yeah.
except in Texas because freaking cold.
Olympic effects on crypto. I'm not sure, but I do know that what crypto.com and FTX have massive advertising campaigns for the Super Bowl. I do know that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
With Tom Brady, Damon, I think Matt Damon was on one of them recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I remember watching all the commercials last year, all the crypto commercials, and I was shocked at some of them. I should go revisit that. In fact, shoot, next weekend is next weekend Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna meet ahead of the Super Bowl thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we
so
are.
I'm gonna pull up. I got homework for myself. I'm gonna pull up what crypto companies advertised in the Super Bowl like last year, and let's see where those companies are. A year later.
Oh, were there crypto commercials last year? I didn't even notice.
There
Yeah.
definitely were. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
FTX or who it was. I don't remember
I don't
exactly,
remember.
but I mean, I don't know. It might have been like
And then just on, because I know you're going to run to the
Twitter
the
Spaces. Yeah.
spaces, the Twitter spaces. But last week, I know you're a fellow 49er fan, and what a disappointing game, man.
Yeah. I'm not
Man,
holding the 49ers mug today. Today's
no,
the
we've
Yoda
got
mug.
to move on. My son has disappointed me and says that he wants to be a Bengals fan now.
Oh, he's jumping ship, huh?
I was like, this is I mean, Jamar Chase is a pretty spectacular wide receiver, so maybe I'll buy him a shirt. But God, anyways, man, Jaquiski or Tart dropping that interception was heartbreaking. That's all I got
It
to say.
really was. Yeah, that was the moment. If he had caught that, then
We may be a little more excited. Yeah,
would have been a different game. All
yeah.
right.
All right.
Well, as always, it's been a fantastic hour with you, Coop. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to reviewing another week with you next Sunday at
yeah, I love it.
9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern every Sunday.
And then what? 1700? No, I'm just kidding. CET.
yeah, I don't know. You're lucky you did that math so far.
Well, by the way, like it's amazing when you're dealing with people in this space, like the amount of different time zones that you must learn.
Yeah.
So, thankfully thank God for these apps that tell you what time it is where you are at. All right.
I concur.
All
All
right.
right, my friend.
All
Cheers.
right.
We'll talk to you
Cheers.
soon.
All right. See you later.